You're watching KMVT Local 11 Sports with Morgan Rumpf.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight.
It's been 9 years since the March Madness tournament has been hosted here inside Taco Bell Arena at Boise State University. The next time will be in 2021. But regardless, the stands may seem empty now, but come tip-off time, these seats will be filled. Fans from all over the country coming to cheer on their teams or just to watch some great basketball. It's so loud. It is deafening.
Welcome back. Now with some disturbing news. Amanda Dunlap, a 22-year-old Twin Falls native, has been arrested for the murder of her child. Ann Kuroki is 26 years old. She was a teaching lab assistant and basketball coach in the Gooding School District until January 4th. Now she faces 6 felony counts of sexual battery of a minor after a rumor proved to be true.
Typically, when you play basketball, it's like this.
Each team has 5 players.
But tonight, it's a little different as it's being played on donkeys. Typically, when you go grocery shopping, you go in, you go out, you get in your car, and you go home. One woman was fortunate enough to be aware of her surroundings, avoiding a potentially dangerous situation. When purchasing your Powerball or Mega Millions lottery ticket, you can select your own numbers or have the machine generate it for you. But what most people forget to do is sign the back of your ticket. That way, it's officially yours. And always, keep it in a safe place. From the Taco Bell Arena in Boise, Morgan Rumpf, KMVT Sports.
Morgan Rumpf, KMVT News. When Stan Bartlett was diagnosed with incurable spinal cancer, he wasn't giving up on life.
Well, you can sit around the house and lay around and waste away or go away. I ain't going to do that. I'm going to stay out and fight and go after it. So I do different things in the neighborhood.
One of those things included giving the Hagerman Pioneer Cemetery a well-deserved renovation.
Stan's the only guy that saw the need to take a little bit of care of this old place and got in his car and came down here and did it.
Stan started with uncovering the lost graves. He spent hours with a weed eater and removing excess brush.
And this was all growed up in willows over here, which I got to brush to get out of here. I put that gate in there because I couldn't crawl over the fence.
He searches through documents so that way he can give recognition to those buried, as well as identifying where bodies are plotted.
Well, I just thought it was the thing to do and it would help the community. Some appreciate it, some could care less.
One grave Stan took special interest to was that of a 3-year-old baby who else would have been forgotten in an unmarked grave. He changed that.
I got a paver stone at Lowe's and a bag of sackcrete, and I cleaned out down in there and set that down in it.
Records indicate that 98 Idaho pioneers are buried, but only 35 graves are marked.
Now, most of these graves are servicemen or moved from Bliss, and lots of them are unknown.
Stan has a story behind every gravestone, whether it's who's buried there or preserving what's left. Morgan Rumpf, KMVT, Local 11 News. Joe Ann Kuroki is 26 years old. She was a teaching lab assistant and basketball coach in the Gooding School District until January 4th. Now, she faces 6 felony counts of sexual battery of a minor after a rumor proved to be true. A rumor about Ann Kuroki and a male student at Gooding High School having inappropriate relations led to an internal investigation by Gooding administration and then to a police investigation.
I was made aware of the situation last week on Monday, actually, and started taking action when the district was in session again on Tuesday.
Kuroki was an at-will employee with the school district and monitored a computer lab. She was also the boys' JV basketball coach.
Didn't really have much of a reaction other than this needed to be investigated, and once we did that, again, she was terminated.
According to public records, the relationship between Kuroki and a 17-year-old started in November of 2017 and ended January 3rd, 2018.
Did commit sexual battery by having lewd and or lascivious contact with and or upon the body of a minor, LS, by genital to genital contact and or oral to genital contact, with the intent to arouse, appeal to, or gratify the lust, passion, or sexual desire of the defendant.
For those comparing the charges in this case to that of former Twin Falls School District employee Jason Benjamin, the difference is in the evidence.
In this case, the way the facts lay out, the sexual battery on a minor actually is a more provable case. That being said, they both carry with them the same punishment, so it's really a matter of semantics.
In layman's terms, she faces the same legal consequences as Benjamin, but sexual battery is more provable in a court of law. Kuroki's preliminary hearing is scheduled for January 18th at 8:30 a.m. The court set bond at $50,000, and if she is to post it, there's to be no contact with the victim or any minor under 18 without supervision. This stands at Albertson Stadium. We're packed for the Broncos' home season opener against Troy. But a small portion known as the Bronco Bunch, with Twin Falls native Maya Treese included, were using the game as a break from reality.
I'm just excited to watch them play.
Twin Falls native Maya Treese is 12 years old and loves sports. Recently, though, she has had to put her life on hold to fight osteosarcoma, a type of bone cancer.
You know, we found out about Maya's diagnosis about a little over a month ago, and the whole community's been amazing in supporting us and praying for us, and all the different activities and organizations that have put things together, fundraisers to help our family. Travel to Salt Lake for the next year has been incredible. So we're just so thankful for this great place and everybody rooting us on.
Maya attended the game as a guest of honor after meeting former Broncos in Twin Falls over the summer.
I went out there, we were able to throw the football around. I think we were out there for about an hour just throwing the football back and forth, so it was a really good experience. And then now seeing her come out, even though she kind of looks a little different, I tried to make her feel as comfortable as possible, you know, even though, you know, she lost her hair, but I mean, it's hair. I mean, if I could, I would shave my hair too with her.
And after the game, Maya was presented with the team hammer, a rally symbol for the Broncos.
Typically, when you go grocery shopping, you go in, you go out, you get in your car, and you go home. One woman was fortunate enough to be aware of her surroundings, avoiding a potentially dangerous situation.
It can happen anywhere, and it happened to me.
Kylie Harvey was Valentine's Day shopping at the Twin Falls Walmart and had an uneasy feeling.
At that point, I started, okay, well, I really need to validate that this is happening, like this could really be happening. Am I really being followed? And that's when I decided to, you know, go to the most random places to see if they would follow me, and they did.
When she was checking out, Kylie notified the clerk she was being followed, and management came to escort her safely to her car.
Well, as soon as I go to back up, I look in my rearview mirror, and the three are standing right behind my car.
Eventually, the men did move. Kylie proceeded to get home safely and called the Twin Falls Police Department to file a report.
I always tell them to trust their gut. You know, if your gut's telling you something's wrong, do something about it. It's better to be safe in the end than sorry.
But in that exact moment, I was scared. You know, it honestly comes down to that fight or flight instinct, and my first instinct was to make sure that I was protected.
The investigation is ongoing and Walmart is cooperating.
I just want, not even just women, everyone in the community to be aware of your surroundings. It can happen anywhere, at any time, in any Walmart, even in a small town.
It's important not to get in that false sense of security, be aware of your surroundings. It's important to get us involved so that we can at least document these incidences if we can't do anything more than that.
Morgan Rumpf, KMVT News.
I went there to the property where the abuse took place in an attempt to speak with property owner Brian Jensen and neighbors. But while in Rupert, the Minidoka County Sheriffs notified me that Brian Jensen was served on misdemeanor animal cruelty.
On January 3rd, the Minidoka County Sheriff's Office responded to a call regarding animal abuse. When a sheriff's deputy arrived at the residence, he found a deceased dog lying next to the front fence near Baseline Road. When I arrived at the residence, a man identifying himself as Preston Jensen, who also lives at the residence, refute any starvation claims.
They're fed, they're watered. Obviously there's hay for the horse. We also give them grain, everything, water. So there's no reason why anybody has any right to say that we starve our dogs. Just because one died doesn't mean we starve them.
Brian Jensen called KMVT and wanted to do a phone interview, but this afternoon he never answered my calls or messages in an attempt to get his side of the story. I knocked on neighbors' doors to get their comments, but no one answered. Around 2:30 p.m. on January 5th, Brian Jensen was served with criminal charges of committing cruelty to animals based on the dog not being provided food, water, or shelter, a misdemeanor. A probable cause affidavit shows the wire lead attached to the deceased dog was tangled around poles of a wooden sign and trees, making mobility limited. It continues to say an empty dish was near the dog, but no food or water was found. There was also no form of shelter for the dog to escape the elements.
After talking to the sheriff's office and seeking public record, I found out that they had responded to Jensen's house 17 times in the last year for various reasons. Jensen will be arraigned on January 18th in Minidoka County on the misdemeanor charge.
I'm outside Taco Bell Arena at Boise State, where the opening round of the NCAA tournament is being played. Between all 8 teams here today, they've traveled over 12,000 miles. The closest one, Gonzaga, 430 miles away, while the furthest, UNC Greensboro, 1,981. But none of these teams traveled alone.
We're going. I was going, no matter what. It was difficult with some of the plane reservations, but I was able to get it done.
The stands were filled, even with fans whose teams either were not in the dance or playing elsewhere.
It's a really exciting atmosphere. It's cool to see all these people coming from all over the country to come into one place and watch some basketball. Hopefully they're good games all weekend. I'm cheering for Nevada, but they're in Nashville right now, so I'm just here to watch some good basketball.
Team spirit was seen and heard.
Zags everywhere.
Zags everywhere.
Yeah, we got red everywhere. But bracketology was realistic.
I only have the Jackrabbits making it to the second round. Gonzaga, I have them, edging them out.
Some hold special connections with their teams.
My dad went to college there for dentistry, and I was actually born in their university hospital on the day they won the national championship in 2002.
Or work with the team as an academic advisor, keeping athletes on track with schoolwork.
They're excited. I think they're just trying to take in the whole experience. We're not on spring break or anything, so they're also studying on the road, so there's just a lot. It's almost like a regular experience for them, but just on a bigger scale.
One fan is here to cheer on his son.
He just has a knack for being there at the right place at the right time to help his team win when it's on the line and the game is close. So we'll see what happens.
Morgan Rumpf.
It's got Arizona winning it all.
Baby, go
Go Bucks!
Go Spartans!
KMVT Sports.